Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Tuesday, October 7th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. One of the two wildland firefighters accused of traveling to the Lower Sugarloaf fire line in a stolen Jeep has pleaded guilty in the crime. A Brewster man was sentenced to 4.5 months of jail and electronic home monitoring after pleading guilty as an accomplice in a 2024 gunfire incident outside Bridgeport. Smoke and haze will stick around tomorrow with showers moving our way by Thursday and into the weekend. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. An early morning flood has temporarily closed the Serve Wenatchee Valley office and Fresh Hope Market after a water line broke overnight. The Wenatchee nonprofit offers a market for low-income clients with food, non-food items, diapers, and rental and furniture assistance. Executive Director Mike Malman told NCWLIFE News he learned of the flood at about 3 a.m. Malman spoke with NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz about the agency's next steps while the building is closed.
Obviously this morning we're evaluating next steps for us. Our goal is to get up and running at least in a temporary location as quickly as possible. As has been discussed in the community, we've recently lost a large food supplier to low-income people in the Lighthouse. We're one of the largest suppliers in terms of operational food banks. We're open more days than most food banks are, so we've already had clients showing up this morning asking if they're going to get food, and sadly the answer is no. So we're working with community partners. I'm working with our leadership team and the board to see what we can do to get up and running as quickly as possible. Obviously this is a major issue. For our clients, if you're rental deposit assistance, if you're rental assistance, if you're furniture assistance, we are still open for those things. We're operating remotely this morning and trying to figure out what our office situation is going to be. We can't answer the phones live, but if you call and leave a message, we can access those messages and we'll call you back. So if you are in need in terms of rental assistance, furniture assistance, you can still reach out to us. We may be a little slower getting back to you than we normally are, but we will try to get back in contact with you. And then for folks in the Valley, we appreciate your prayers and thoughts for us right now. We're going to need a lot of help to get back up and running. The building was insured. Our organization obviously had insurance too, but all of this takes time to process. So it does mean, in all likelihood, we're going to be down for a couple weeks, but we're going to work as hard as we can around the clock to get up and running as quickly as possible.
One of the two wildland firefighters accused of traveling to the Lower Sugarloaf fire line in a stolen Jeep has pleaded guilty in the crime. 32-year-old Nicholas Blake Weems Smart of Central Point, Oregon, entered a plea in Chelan County Court to a charge of possessing a stolen vehicle. Judge Travis Brandt sentenced him to 20 days he's already served in the Chelan County Jail. The agreement with prosecutors allowed Weems Smart to avoid a second stolen vehicle charge. He was one of two men who traveled from Oregon to work at the Eniat Fire Camp on September 14th. His companion allegedly stole the Jeep from Goldendale after their own van broke down. Sheriff's deputies say they arrested Weems Smart the next day near Monitor after pursuing him in a second stolen vehicle. The second man has yet to be arrested or charged. In his plea, Weems Smart told authorities he did not steal or drive a stolen car, but was a passenger who put his trust in the wrong person. He's worked as a wildland firefighter for more than 10 years. Mayor Mike Poyer and the Wenatchee City Council will move out of City Hall on Thursday to host a meet and greet at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Center. The city announced it will hold a special council meeting that day at the Senior Center following the meet and greet. It's a chance for constituents to get to know their city leaders outside of normal business. The meeting agenda includes two proclamations, one for the Girl Scouts Day of the Girl and another for the Children's Environmental Health Day. The meet and greet begins at 4 p.m. with the council meeting starting up at 5:15. This year's Misawa delegation has made it home from Japan exactly 94 years after Clyde Pangborn did it himself. The partnership recognizes the connection forged by the historic Pangborn-Herndon Trans-Pacific flight from Misawa, Japan to East Wenatchee in 1931. The delegation this year included East Wenatchee Mayor Gerald Crawford and Wenatchee City Council members Travis Hornby and Trop Rojanastian, as well as ambassadors from local schools. While in Japan, the ambassadors visited museums and schools and learned about cultural traditions. The delegates from Misawa visited Wenatchee in May during the Wenatchee Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. When we come back, the Washington Court of Appeals refused to overturn the sentence of a convicted Okanogan County rapist this week, even though it agreed the prosecutor committed misconduct during the trial. And the Chelan County Sheriff's Office says 2 of its detectives contributed to a Washington State Patrol operation last week to arrest men suspected of sex offenses against children in the Spokane area. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
A Brewster man was sentenced to 4.5 months of jail and electronic home monitoring after pleading guilty as an accomplice in a 2024 gunfire incident outside Bridgeport. 23-year-old Isaac Garcia Ramirez was one of 3 brothers arrested after shots were fired from a passing vehicle at a residence near Richards Avenue and Highway 173. No one was injured. Ramirez pleaded down from first-degree assault in Douglas County Court to lesser counts of attempted second-degree assault and unlawful firearm possession. Ramirez must also spend a year on probation. His 2 brothers received minimal sentences, but a 4th man, 28-year-old Rosendo Saucedo, is now serving 4.5 years. The Washington Court of Appeals refused to overturn the sentence of a convicted Okanogan County rapist this week, even though it agreed that the prosecutor committed misconduct during the trial. Jose Agustin Sanchez is serving 21 years for second-degree rape, assault, and unlawful imprisonment for imprisoning and brutalizing a woman in 2021. At trial, the Okanogan County deputy prosecutor seeking his conviction used vulgar language in front of the jury, which the Court of Appeals today called unnecessary and unprofessional, and introduced facts that hadn't been brought in as evidence. The appellate court says that was misconduct, but it had no measurable effect on the jury's verdict. Sanchez remains held at Airway Heights Corrections Center. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says 2 of its detectives contributed to a Washington State Patrol operation last week to arrest men suspected of sex offenses against children in the Spokane area. Operation Liberty Lake yielded 14 arrests over 2 days, including 1 person who faces possible federal indictment. The project involved multiple local agencies working under state patrol coordination. The Sheriff's Office says its Detective Sergeant Brian Lewis served as a team leader in the operation, while Detective Cyrus Bowthorpe helped secure search warrants. The suspects, all men from Spokane and Idaho, face charges including child rape, sexual exploitation, and communication with a minor for immoral purposes. Coming up next, the Wenatchee School District is preparing to ask voters to approve a $294 million bond to replace Wenatchee High School. We'll have more on that in tonight's feature story. It looks like another day of smoky air tomorrow, and then rain, showers, and cooler weather on the way. I'll have your local weather details coming up, as well as Eric Granstrom with a look at all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after these messages.
Is your yard outdated, overgrown, or just not working for your lifestyle? At Bailey's Pro Landscaping, they specialize in transforming ordinary outdoor spaces into beautiful, low-maintenance landscapes built for Central Washington living. From custom designs to full installation, they bring expertise, creativity, and craftsmanship to every job. Your yard has potential. Start your project with Bailey's Pro Landscaping.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. The Medicare annual enrollment period runs October 15th through December 7th, and this year brings important changes to Medicare and prescription drug costs. I offer no-cost plan reviews to help you compare benefits and be confident in your coverage for the year ahead. I've specialized in Medicare insurance for nearly a decade and would love to assist you. Call or visit me today at my office in Wenatchee.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
The Wenatchee School District is preparing to ask voters to approve a $294 million bond to replace Wenatchee High School. District officials say the 1971 building is operating above capacity, and its outdated systems make repairs cost-prohibitive. The proposed bond would also fund heating and air conditioning updates district-wide, with about $79 million expected in state matching dollars. Superintendent Corey Callahar hopes to educate the community about the district's needs and the financial impact before a measure goes to voters, possibly in 2026. The construction of a new high school would take about 3 years to complete. NCWLIFE News talked to district officials about the need for a new school while taking a tour of the existing building.
Now this building looks great from the street, right? So we kind of joke, but not really, is that the brick ages well. But you know, the inside of the building, despite heroic efforts to really maintain that and keep things going and looking great, it's tired and the infrastructure is really reached an end of life and needs that repair. So one of the other unique things about cooling a school this size, like Corey said, 250,000 square feet, which is what, 3 football fields worth of like real estate, is we have some unique spaces. You have hallways like this, you have classroom spaces. You also have an auditorium, you have several gymnasiums, the swimming pool, so it has some different spaces than in like an office building or in your home. So those are unique spaces to try and heat and cool and keep air flowing in a building this size and of this vintage. So that's something that's kind of unique about this space. The auditorium is the largest auditorium in North Central Washington. So with 1,000 seats, roughly. I think we have roughly 1,000 seats in here. So this space gets used a lot. And when we've had cooling go down during really big events in here, especially in the springtime when we start to see those increases in temperatures. We get kind of that really hot swing, kind of early in the spring or even late in the spring. And we've had to bring in fans, all of these doors here opening up fans so we get some crosswind and ventilation, which really creates not a great space to perform in or to sit and watch a show in. So this space is definitely impacted by heating and cooling challenges that we have in this building. But like I said, is constantly used by the community for performances. It's a great asset that we have, but we also want to make sure it's a comfortable experience for people who are coming to enjoy the arts or whatever performance is going on in here.
Even in these old spaces, everything that we have has been meticulously cared for. And so I'm even looking at the back of these chairs from the early 1970s, and they're very well maintained. Everything has been well taken care of. It's clean, it's tidy, it's just old. And you're going to see that as we walk through the building. Things are not necessarily in bad shape or disrepair. It's just 53 years old. Yeah, sometimes noise is an issue. I used to teach in this classroom right here, 204, for much of my career. And so when Mr. Jagla was having a lecture or an activity or something, we might overhear some of that, and so we just close our door. We'd like to teach with an open door policy. If anybody wants to come in, they can see what we're doing or that. But we often have to close doors just for whatever reasons. You're just in close proximity. But I think the goal is the overall goal really is to create the student learning experience that is going to be most conducive to the next generation of learners, but also that helps our learners right now be able to maximize their time and effort while they're in school. The other piece of it too is I feel like the high school and our HVAC is one piece of a larger, more global long-range facilities planning that we need to be better at as a school district and make sure that we're keeping the Wenatchee Valley and the Wenatchee School District up to date on that too, because the other buildings are not long after this when you think about it. We have a whole host of elementary schools that were built in the late 80s, and those are going to be next along the line. And so really helping our community understand what our needs are longitudinally, and then preparing them for what that looks like from a tax perspective as well too.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Tuesday, and boy, was that air nasty out there today. Looking out our weather window, a great shot from our Cashmere Tower camera, and you can catch the smoke just beginning out of the Labor Mountain fire and heading into our direction, and it just inundated the Wenatchee Valley. Air quality today around Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Cashmere in the unhealthy category, pretty much between 200 and 220 as far as an air quality index, and then a little bit better up north around Chelan, and as you head into Pateros in the moderate range. But boy, in the Wenatchee Valley, it was an ugly one today. Looking at weather as we move ahead, we're going to see a little more of that smoke tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be a lot like today with the degraded air quality. Will probably be once again in the unhealthy range for Wednesday. The good news is we get into Thursday, Friday, and this weekend, we're going to see increasing clouds, and the good news, rain showers Thursday into Friday. That will continue into Saturday as well. Cooler temperatures are expected to arrive as well this weekend. Could see a little bit of windy conditions on Saturday into Sunday, but the thing is for fires, cooler with showers, and that is just what we need. As far as moving forward in October, as we get into the middle of the month, our 10-day temperature outlook, 6 to 10 days below normal temperatures as we move into the middle of the month. In fact, we have about a 60 to 70% chance that we will see below normal temperatures. As far as precip goes, this is really good for us. We have about a 40 to 50% chance that we will be above normal as far as precipitations in this swath right through north central Washington. As you get into eastern Washington, an even better chance that we'll be above normal as far as rainfall. And boy, we can all use it, that's for sure. Today in Wenatchee, we reached an unofficial official high temperature of 69 degrees, 3 degrees above where we should be at 66 for this time of year. 84, our record high. That was set back in 2014. Low temperature this morning, exactly where we should be for October 7th, 45 degrees, 32, our record low, and that was set in 1990. Sunrise this morning at 7:09, and it sets tonight at 6:27. All right, as we get you into Wednesday and our temperatures, a lot like today, maybe a tick or two cooler, 70 degrees in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 69 in Quincy and also Ellensburg. But this is the area, Chelan, Lake Wenatchee, Wenatchee, where we'll see all of that smoke. So our temperatures in this little area will all be lower than we see to the east and also up to the north in Ormac with a high temperature tomorrow of 71 degrees. Tonight we can expect widespread haze. Notice the wind coming right at us from the west and northwest. That's going to bring more of that Labor Mountain smoke our way tonight. Low temperatures overnight, a little warmer than this morning, into the upper 40s. As we get you into midweek Wednesday, widespread smoke once again expected. Once again, we're going to see that westerly flow of air into the Wenatchee Valley. High temperatures mid to upper 60s tomorrow. For Thursday, this is where our weather changes a little bit. An area of low pressure in southeast Washington and one off the coast will be bring clouds and a pretty decent chance for showers as we get into tomorrow night, or Thursday night rather. High temperatures in those upper 60s, and boy, by the end of the week, a big trough of low pressure forms over the western United States. Lots of clouds on Friday, about a 40% chance of rain showers. High temperatures in the upper 60s to end our work week. And then getting into the upcoming weekend on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, and look at the wind that we expect on Saturday. A 50% chance of rain showers, and you can see them, boy, especially in western Washington and over in the Spokane area Saturday. Going to cool down too this weekend. High temperatures in the low 60s. For your Sunday, the area of low pressure moves up into northwest Washington. That'll bring clouds and a chance for showers on Sunday, but much cooler. High temperatures barely reaching 60 degrees to end our weekend. And then on Monday, look at this huge area of low pressure. This is the trough that I've been talking about. It's going to stay with us into Monday. A good chance for rain showers Monday and cooler with highs only in the upper 50s. All right, your 7-day forecast, 48 overnight tonight. And by the way, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Once again, 48 overnight tonight, smoke tomorrow and 67 degrees. And this is where the rain shower activity begins Thursday with morning rain and 69, about a 40% chance of rain showers Friday, 69 our high. The cool down begins on Saturday, 50% chance of rain and windy conditions with a high of 63, only 60 with some isolated showers on Sunday. And by the time we get into Monday, cloudy with rain likely, a high then only 59 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
And a happy Tuesday to you. The Mariners are in Detroit to battle the Tigers in Games 3 today, Game 4 tomorrow in the American League Divisional Series. Today's game was delayed by a couple of hours due to rain. They finally got that game going. Logan Gilbert on the mound. And the good news for Mariner fans is that Josh Naylor made the trip, and they won't tell us if his wife actually had the baby or not. They're waiting for him to tell us that. That's why he didn't travel with the team back to Detroit after the game on Sunday. So important thing, he's back. We'll have highlights of today's game tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Logan Gilbert getting that start today against Detroit's Jack Flaherty. Probably another pitcher's duel happening in Detroit. Now, Game 4 is tomorrow. That'll be at 1:08 in the afternoon on FS1. Meanwhile, the Dodgers have a 2-zip series lead on Philadelphia after a 4-3 win last night. The NLDS shifts to Los Angeles tomorrow. Milwaukee leads 2-zip in its series against the Cubs after a 7-3 win last night. Yankees home today to host Toronto. They're trailing their ALDS 2-0. Game 5 underway on FS1. Seahawks coach Mike Macdonald is still not happy about his defense after reviewing Sunday's loss to Tampa Bay. Second-year head coach spent most of Sunday night and Monday morning going over the film with his coaching staff and is ready to move forward.
Man, it's been a long day. Been a good day. It's good to be with the guys. Good to watch the tape. You know, obviously we're not not pleased. We're disappointed in the outcome of the game. I thought the guys did play hard. We fought the last second. It's a good example of how the NFL works. You know, there's a lot of games where in our 2-year history where I felt like you play complementary football and defense is helping out offense and special teams, things like that. Some certain games come to mind. Yesterday was a game where our offense and special teams had to pick up our defense, and it came down to trying to get a stop towards the end or scoring late, and we weren't able to do either of those things. So, we scoured through the tape, made a lot of corrections, and guys are on board. Go through, not around, as we like to say around here. But what's important is we learn from it, and we go attack the heck out of this week, and we come back fresh on Wednesday and all eyes, straight ahead and get ready for Jacksonville.
McDonald admits that while his defense could have played better, you also need to credit the guys in the other uniforms.
It's like a pet peeve when the coaches get up here and they're like, yeah, it was all us, like all those yards would be diminished if we would have just done X, Y, and Z. Like Tampa deserves a lot of credit too. Baker's playing at a high level. I thought they had a good game plan. They executed really well. They play hard. They're a good team. Having said that, we have to play better too. And like I said after the game, I feel like I have to have a better game plan and I have to call it better. So it's kind of everybody involved taking their game to another level and focusing that, getting all the inputs right throughout the week.
A.J. Barner had his best day as a pro. The second-year tight end had 7 receptions, 53 yards, couple of touchdowns. McDonald says Barner is a playmaker.
Well, he's a spark plug for our whole football team. This guy's got a great mentality. He's got swag to him. He's got an edge. He's got toughness. He's got like a great spirit about him, where it's not just for our offense, but cares about our football team, and we love him for it. He's doing a tremendous job. He's done a lot of unselfish work on our offense. A lot of the time. In pass protection, run game, takes a lot of pride in all those things. And as we like to say, the ball finds energy, and when you do things right and do it consistently, you tend to get rewarded for that type of stuff, and I think that's what we're seeing with him. But when we find him the ball, good things have been happening.
Jacksonville scored a touchdown in the closing seconds last night to beat Kansas City 31-28 to improve to 4-1. Jags and Seahawks kick off Sunday at 10 a.m. That will be on Fox. Big 9 gets a day off in prep girls soccer today, also in volleyball, as a matter of fact. While the 4A schools take a break, smaller schools will be busy. Cashmere's on the road at Wildluke, while Brewster's hosting Okanagan. Liberty Bell playing at Bridgeport. Chelan's at Tenasket. Oroville's hosting Lake Roosevelt. Manson plays at Pateros. Prosser's hosting Quincy tonight at 6, while Ephrata's at Sela, and Cascade is hosting Omak. Smaller schools also have the focus on the prep volleyball schedule tonight. Garden City Academy traveling to Soap Lake today. Fred is hosting Quincy. Cashmere plays at Wildluke. Tenasket takes on Omak. Lake Roosevelt visits Okanagan. Bridgeport plays host to Brewster. Liberty Bell visits Manson. Waterville Mansfield's hosting Pateros. And it's on the road at Moses Lake Christian. We'll stay with the preps. Cashmere back home Friday after a hard-fought loss at Royal last week. The Bulldogs hope homecoming week will be the salve that heals the wounds of last week's 21-15 overtime loss to the Knights. Zilla comes calling. Also also sporting a 4-1 record. WIAA's RPI poll has the Leopards ranked 9th ahead of the 15th rated Bulldogs. Last week's coaches poll, by the way, had Cashmere ranked 3rd behind Royal at number 1 and Lennon Christian at number 2. Join yours truly and Grant Olson with the play-by-play. Our pregame getting underway at 6:30 Friday night at Bulldog Stadium right here on the NCWLIFE channel. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for this Tuesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see the news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is now available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.